Hello, welcome back. This is James Uriel from Our Lot Rostering and Time and Attendance. So, this series, we're going to have a 5 video in this series, and this series is the working time regulation series. It's going to be very short tutorial because understanding working time regulation is actually very simple. So, for example, we could go to ACAS website, I'd say work time regulation ACAS, and if you go there you will see a guide which every manager should know and every organization should understand what this working time regulation is. It's very important to follow the working time regulation because this could lead to unfair treatment in any form to your staff or to your employees, and not working according to working time regulation could cost your business a lot of money. So Our Lot Rostering and Time and Attendance is focusing on each of this working time regulation to ensure that everyone within the staff team is treated fairly, so that you don't have a case of people feeling that they've been discriminated against in any form. So we go to the tutorial, we go to our rostering application. Now our rostering application, we have here August, which we already like scheduling the shift for. So I'm just going to delete that, and what we will do next is the first thing we need to set in our working time regulation is, if we go to the settings, we have maximum hours per shift, which means per day. So on a particular day, what is the maximum hours we want to enforce that our staff cannot go over? That means no matter what, the manager should not book anybody on shift that is more than this particular hours. And there's flexibility. Sometimes things could happen here, they might be able to do overtime, but that should not be a common practice. But the standard practice should be they cannot work more than a certain number of hours. So let's say they can't work more than 12 hours maximum. We save that has been saved. Once that has been saved, we can decide, let's say we want to change this shift to from 7 a.m. to, let's say we want to do to 10. Now that is about 15 hours, so we cannot book that shift. There will be a message popping up here saying warning, long day shift. James Uriel cannot work more than 15 hours today, because the maximum hours that we've set is 12 hours, and 15 hours is more than 12 hours. So this person that is being scheduled for this shift cannot work more than that. Now the manager can decide to authorize and not authorize. Then what the person will need to look at is, are they going to authorize this? If they want to authorize this, then they can authorize it, and they will have to select their name and their employee number and enter comment. We need this shift because we had issues with a client. So you want your manager to enter the message, the reason why they are scheduling this person for 15 hours as opposed to 11 hours that has been set already. So this is what we will need to look at when we are trying to schedule shifts in order to enforce this working time regulation practice. And it's always a good practice to not authorize, but if we have to, then we have this feature in our rostering that is shown. This information is saved we can always go back to it and we can review it. So if your manager is always approving 15 hours every single day, week in, week out, then that is a bad practice and that might be looked into. But it's always a good practice to have these functionalities so that we can decide to whether authorize or not authorize. So if we decide to authorize, we can just authorize. And immediately we hit authorize button, that shift is entered into the database. That means that person can be scheduled for that shift, can work that shift. It will not be this person's fault. It will be the person authorizing the shift, and the person knows that, okay, I am authorizing this person to work more than the 12 hours that is recommended on the rota. And that is how you enforce maximum daily hours on hourly or rostering. And you can see it's very efficient and effective. So in the next tutorial, we're going to look at another working time regulation best practice as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye for now.